Yeah, and that's the last point I want to get into today is the Patriots have their matchup in the Super Bowl. It's going to be the Philadelphia Eagles, who were the one considered the best team in football for most of the year before Carson Wentz went down. They had an MVP candidate at quarterback, and now they've gone to their backup. And in a weird twist between the weeks, Nick Foles went from the guy who kind of slogged through a victory in his first playoff game and then looks like all-pro guy in his own right in beating the Vikings last week. How are you envisioning the Patriots-Eagles matchup, just as a first glance, even though we have almost 2 weeks to go for this game?
Well, I'll just say this. A lot of people were doubting Blake Bortles that he could do anything against the Patriots. We were predicting very low scoring from the Jaguars, and Blake Bortles went out and torched the Patriots defense. Until the end there, he was having an excellent game. Nick Foles just did the same thing to the Vikings defense. I wonder if he can end up doing the same things to the Patriots. I mean, he's had his good games and his bad games. Yesterday was very clearly a good game. He made some incredible throws, including there's that one flea flicker that he bombed to Torrey Smith in the corner of the end zone that was just an absolutely perfect pass. So Nick Foles can play. The Eagles' defense can definitely play. I don't think it's as good a secondary as the Jaguars had, but they have a maybe just as good defensive line. They've got a really good pass rush, got some athletic linebackers, and they've got an offensive line that can block with the best of them. Lane Johnson is probably one of the best right tackles in the league. We've got, I think, Jason Kelsey at center, Steve Wisniewski. So they've got some good blockers up front. They've got a talented running game with Jay Ajayi and LeGarrette Blount. And then they have some really good receivers. Nelson Aguilar has really come out as a slot receiver this year. Alshon Jeffrey is a big red zone threat, and Torrey Smith still has some speed. So there's a lot of really good players on that Eagles team. I mean, obviously Carson Wentz would have maybe made a more appealing matchup because he was an MVP candidate, and it would have been Wentz versus Brady, and that would have been something special. But I think in the end, it's going to be a tough matchup. I think the Patriots, I mean, like just before even really going deep into it, I would expect the Patriots to be, I mean, they'd be favored and they probably have a decent chance to win here, but I don't think it's going to be by that much. I'd be wary of the Eagles, even though they did lose Wentz.
Yeah, I believe the Patriots are currently favored by 5.5 points, which makes sense because it is if you're going by just Vegas betting, it's Brady versus a backup quarterback, and unsurprisingly, bettors are going to lean towards Brady there. I think overall as a team, the Eagles are kind of a similar matchup to the Jaguars in the fact that they have a quarterback who has some question marks but has played well at times, and they have a great pass rush. They have good overall defense, not quite as good as the Jaguars, but their offense is much. I think overall they're a much better, more talented team. They also have a strong core of receivers, and I think it's going to be an interesting matchup. I think they're going to put Stephon Gilmore, their biggest corner, on Alshon Jeffrey. I think they're going to try mixing and matching Malcolm Butler and Eric Rowe on Nelson Aguilar and Torrey Smith to see what the matchup is there. I think the Patriots safeties are going to have a big impact in that game, and they're trying to limit the deep ball because, as you mentioned on that flea flicker, and Nick Foles, if he can get explosive plays out of that offense, then that Eagles defense is a great overall unit. And we're going to have some familiar faces. We're going to have LeGarrette Blount running the ball. We're going to have Chris Long on the pass rush. But Chris Long is like he was with the Patriots last year. He's a rotational pass rusher. And that front with Brendan Graham, they have a great rookie in Derek Barnett. They have Fletcher Cox up the middle. The Patriots had issues once again with strong pass rushers up the middle. Marcel Darius got the better of Shaq Mason. Fletcher Cox is better than him, and he's going to be a big factor in the Super Bowl. We saw it last year with Grady Jarrett having 3 sacks. If the Eagles manage to get pressure up the middle, it's known as the way to get to Brady, and I think the Eagles have a great chance because this is a great team against another great team.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I didn't even mention Zach Ertz, the tight end, who is a matchup nightmare for anyone. He's kind of been like on the cusp of being very good for like a few years now, and he finally broke out this year. He's tremendous all year. He's been a great part of Doug Peterson's scheme, and I mean, as we saw yesterday, Doug Peterson can coach against really good defenses. That Vikings defense was one of the best in the league, and the Eagles scored, I think, 38 points on them. So. I mean, this is an Eagles team that you can't take lightly. It's kind of funny because it almost mirrors the first 3 Super Bowl run in 4 years for the Patriots. They ended up playing an NFC West team. Then an NFC North team, and then the NFC East team. So, yeah, I mean, the Patriots, or an NFC South team, my bad.
Yeah.
But the Patriots have a chance to kind of repeat what they did all those years ago, and it goes from Brady's start of his career to probably toward the Brady's end of his career. So it ends up being a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to the matchup.
Yeah, we're gonna have plenty of time to break down this game as we head to Minnesota next week, and we're gonna have a whole lot from Minneapolis from Super Bowl activities. So, folks, make sure to stay tuned to masslive.com/Patriots on the Patriots page on Facebook and YouTube. We're gonna have all sorts of stuff. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun couple weeks, and then a heck of a game a week from Sunday.
I'm looking forward to the Puppy Bowl.
Oh, yeah. We'll definitely got full Puppy Bowl coverage this year. All right, Kevin, thanks for coming and checking in with us, and we'll see you throughout this week and next.
Thanks. Yeah, I'll see you soon.